As you can see, I'm recording a guitar part on one of my latest tracks. I'm not a very good guitarist. I need to make many different alternative tracks before I get what I want. And for this, I have a problem with Reason. Actually, it will be with any DAW. Is that when I want to take a new track, I need to press point to create a new alternative track, muting the previous one, and then I need to press 1 to go back to the locator, to the left locator, and then I press record in order to start again. Now, when I do this, what do? I put down the mediator, start playing with the keyboard, eventually even with this hand, and then it launches, and I need to take this mediator again. And where was I? That is a real problem for me. I mean, when you take 5 times a track and you're bothered by this, it's very irritating because you lose it, basically. You lose your feel. You start getting irritated, and then, yeah. That's why we always say the first tracks are the best, but sometimes you're composing, so you're still looking for what you're going to play. You could tell me, yeah, but you can just make a loop and you get new comps when Reason. So you can use the same track to make virtual tracks and then cut inside. That's fine, but I like to have the tracks separated. Seriously, I like to see everything I'm doing. I don't like the comp system in Reason too much. Anyway, so ideally, I would need an engineer, right? Because I'm using my hands for the guitar. I would need someone behind the window. I tell him, start again, and he tells me, stop, and I start again. I don't think about all the technical parts. So I don't have an engineer at my disposal, but I have my feet. There is this nice little tradition within my family, is that we ask each other what we want for Christmas. And guess what I got? I got that. 10 buttons here that could be on, off, or could be stop, play, record, go to the left locator, go to the right locator, create an out track, start looping, stuff like this. I said, wow, that would be so cool. I wouldn't need to touch a keyboard anymore. I could keep on my guitar. And what attracted me, the bonus was this. These are wah-wah pedals, kind of expression pedals. I could assign this to maybe filter resonance, right? Or cutoff frequency, or stuff like this. So I could actually play some synths and also play with my feet. Where's the USB? No USB. Where's USB? Oh, no USB. Yeah, it's an old thing. It's a MIDI controller. So it has MIDI plugs. So I had to buy a converter, or an interface actually, it's called an interface. You can find normal cables at $3, but I didn't trust this. So I bought one from a brand, from Roland, UM1. And it worked perfectly. So I'm not going to go into detail of this. I plugged it in, I installed it according to the instructions, I've got a little CD with it, and Reason saw it immediately, no problem. And now when I use this, I see the information coming from the UM1 in Reason. Right, so second step, set it up. Here is the beast. I just plugged in the power cable, that's all, for now. Just turn it on. In this foot controller, there are 100 presets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, etc. 21, 22, 31, etc. So you got by pack of 10 of presets using these 2 buttons. They call these in the documentation banks of 10 presets. Only one is active at a time, right? For example, if I activate 14, you see there's nothing lit here, but it's still lit there. Okay, so there are 100 presets, but what is a preset? What does it mean, a preset? What happens when I press on the button? What is a preset? regarding this foot controller. A preset is a group of MIDI instructions that will be sent from the controller to the DAW. So when I press on button number 1, I activate preset 1. There are 10 MIDI instructions which can be activated when I press this button. You got change color, program change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have a CNT 1, 2. You have expression A, expression B, and finally you have note. I will talk about MIDI a little bit, but I'm not making a MIDI lesson. So if you want information about MIDI, the basics, go on Wikipedia. You'll find information there. So when I send, say, a program change information, I'm going through a kind of pathway called a CC, a control change. There are 1 to 127 control change which exist in MIDI, and there's maybe something like 20 or 30 which are free. We're going to use the free ones. But the program change functions are not really interesting for us. The origin of this function is to change the preset sound of a synthesizer. So you have 5, so you could connect this to 5 synthesizer and change with one stroke all the sounds of the setup. That's the idea. We're not going to use this, so we will deactivate it when we configure preset 1. On the other hand, we're interested in these because I can select a pathway, a control change, say CC22, and then associate with it a value. I will associate 127. The values can go from 0 to 127. And on this one, I will associate the same pathway, CC22, with 0. Meaning that when I press on preset 1, this one will send 127 to my DAW, on. And if I press a second time, it sends 0, on, off. So when I'm on Reason, for example, and I assign a function, a button, with right click, I assign it, I just need to press on the button and it will know it's this, CC22. Expression A and B. Well, in preset 1, we set up what the pedals do. So there are 2 pedals, right? We set what they do. For example, by default, and actually we keep the default, it's a pathway control change CC27, and the values can go from 0 to 127. So we set up also the range. And this one is by default CC16, and we set up the values from 0 to 127 also. That allows us to, when we press on the pedal, within preset 1, it sends a CC27 message with the value of the pedal to the DAW. So you can associate this with a filter cutoff, for example. So when you press on the pedal, you see the button in Reason that will turn around. Then there's note. Now, we're not going to use note. I don't use it in the setup because I don't want to play music with my foot controller. I just want to control stuff. You could use it in certain cases, but I find it might conflict with certain things. I might end up playing a note when I'm pressing it. I don't know. I just don't want to make it complicated. I just deactivate it. So when I press on preset 1, I've got this set of instructions that will be sent to my DAW. This could be, for example, record on-off. And this could be, say, filters or whatever. If I press on the second one, preset 2, I will program it the same way, except that here I will use a different path, because I will assign it to a different thing in Reason. Say, for example, left controller. Go to the left controller. And what's interesting also is that you could assign different CCs also for these, meaning that when you press on the second preset, the pedals would control other things. Right, so I'm probably not going to use this because it's going to become very complicated in my head, probably. When I do music, I don't want to think about it, but for the creative ones of you that you want to explore this, it's pretty powerful. Let's start now programming our first preset. I already configured for myself presets 1 through 10. So to start fresh, let's go to another bank, say bank number 3. So here we will be dealing with presets 31 till 40, right? So first I'm going to select which preset I want to edit. So I'm going to take 31. I'm going to press here to start editing preset 31, meaning what will happen when I press on the button 31. I press on the down button for a long time until this starts flashing. This is not for us actually, because it is to configure some outputs for amps behind there. So we just do enter to go to the next section, which is to configure our preset. By default, you will see this. Here, if you look on the above the letter of the button, you got program change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, CNT 1, 2, expression A, expression B, and note. These are the MIDI functions. We said we didn't want any program change, so I'm going to deactivate the program change by pressing a long time on it. Voila. There's no more LED. These are all deactivated. When I press on 31 on the button when I'm playing, these will not do anything. Now CNT1 and CNT2, that we were interested in, so I'm going to activate this one, which is deactivated by default. Expression A and B activated by default. I want them. Note is not, and I don't want it anyway. Right, so we know what MIDI functions we will be sending to the dial when we press on button 31. Let's configure it now. I press on CNT1. Now it starts blinking. I press enter to confirm. What is written here is actually the MIDI, the CC, the control change. So there's a huge bunch, a big bunch of control change available. Between 22 and 31 they are available. So we're going to use 22 by pressing the button 22. Enter. Now we have to put what value will be sent to the computer. 127 is good, it's on. I validate by pressing enter. So this function is done. Let's do this one now. I press on it, it blinks, enter. Again, I'm going to choose the control change 22, enter. And it is by default at 0. That's fine with me, that's off. So enter. These two are now configured. Now the expression A, with this pedal. I press on it, I select. I want the CC27, it's by default. I just select it. I want the minimum value to be 0. So I can press either 0 here, or actually I can use the pedal itself. And when I'm done, I confirm, enter. What will be the maximum value? 127 is fine. It was by default, enter. Let's do this one, same story. I select it blinks, I confirm my selection. The CC number is 16. If I wanted another CC, I could always do this, right? 17, so I want 16. 6, enter. Minimum value 0, maximum value 127. I'm good. And I've configured button number 31, so I get out of here by pressing a long time here. Here we go. Now, each time I press on this button, I'm sending CNT1, CNT2, expression A, expression B to the computer. Meaning that if I also use these, this will be control change 27, and this will be control change 16. Note that these buttons here, these LEDs, sorry, are lit, meaning these are active. Let's do 32. Preset 32, so 3, 2. I enter the mode for configuration. I enter this to go to select, meaning that I bypass the first configuration. And you see again, I've got the, yes, I've got the default situation. So I press this to get rid of it. I press this to get it active. 6, I press, oh no, I want it to blink only, so short press, enter, and now I'm going to use 23, and next control change, not the same as the previous one, enter, the number would be 127 on, same for this one, select, 23, select, 0 for the off value, and suppose that I don't want to have this one active. So I actually deactivate it. So this will not work anymore when I select this preset, 32. But I want this one active. So press, enter, channel 16 is fine, 0 for minimum value, 127 for maximum range, and here we go, configured. So I press escape, I'm done. And look, here, I don't know if you can see the LEDs. Yeah, you can see. Here, the LED is on, but here it's off. Right? When I'm 31, both are on, both are active. Control change 27, control change 16. On preset 32, only this one is active at control change 16. Right, so you repeat this for all, right? So for the control change, I will use 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 28, because I'm using 26 or 27 for this one, 29, 30, 31, and afterwards you shouldn't use 32. I jump to the next branch, which was 3, 101. Right? Let me show you that you can actually enter bigger numbers than 100 or 33, for example. And now let's configure this one. Oh, there's a, oh, I forgot to. Right. This one. Select. I could put 101 as a CC channel if I wanted to. And then I validate. And then put on value. Yeah? Okay. Let's see how this works with Reason. As you can see, I plugged in an Octorex in the rack that will only play a simple loop. This is just for illustration. Okay, let's start assigning. I would like the left marker to be associated with this button, so I right-clicked on the L, and now I'm going to press on this. Here we go. You saw the signal when I press on it? Okay. I'll do the same with the right-click, edit remote override mapping, and do for the second one. Okay. And I'll do then the stop. I put it on 3. Okay. I'll do the same with the play. 4. You see the CC number? It's the one we assigned before. And then the record. 3, 4, 5. Then loop could be, for example, 6. And say the click 7. And say now looping for 8. That's an example. Okay, let's play with this. So I can play. I can stop. I can go back to the left marker or go to the right marker. I can record. But I'll stop. Actually, I'm outside of the loop, so I'll go back into loop, and I decide to loop. Let's play. Oh, go back to the 1. And notice that if I can, you know when you double click on the stop, when you double click on the top stop, you go back to measure 1. You can double click here also. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Now let's assign these pedals. So for example, I want to assign this pedal to the filter of the Octavex. You see the CC27. Now let's play. So let's go back to 1. So 4 for play. And now. And on the fly, let's assign the other controller to the resonance. Click. Okay. And I can play with both of them now. Get it quite comfortable. Let's stop. I think you got a pretty good idea. Now, your turn.